Good evening, everybody. Hello. I hope you ladies and everyone watching are awesome.
Recording in progress.
So good to have you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to day 2 of Imperfect, everybody. If you're fresh here, my name is Clever. I'm the confidence and the identity coach here at Inspired Lifestyles, and I'm bringing you my brand new free mini course, Imperfect. And here we are today. We are talking all about breaking up with the habits. So bear with me while I get comfy and find my details. Hello, I've got everyone here. I am really excited to see you all. Hopefully I can see all the comments as they come up. I'm really excited. So how are you all? Are you feeling well? How did you find day 1? If you're watching this pop up, if you are available, then pop in, say hi, let me know where you're coming in from, and I want you to reply and let me know, how did you spend your 10 minutes for you today? What did you do that spent that 10 minutes just for you? What did you do? Could you be as a mother and as a wife, and in your career if you could prioritize yourself? Because yesterday was all about the compromise. Yesterday was all about the stories that we tell. Yesterday was all about the comparisons we are making and the assumptions in our head that are holding us back from being where we want to be. And it is really important to realize that in any circumstances where we compromise, when any circumstances where we compare, in every circumstance where we say, I'm not good enough, and you allow your inadequacy to speak, all you are doing is feeding your fear that feeds your excuses, that feeds your reality. It is simple as that. So as mums, we need to start being in alignment, because what we are doing, and we're going to touch on this a lot tonight, is you're living in contradiction. You are saying to your kids that you need to do X, Y, and Z. You are saying to your kids that they deserve love, compassion, energy, time, But what you were displaying to them is in a busy mindset, and what you were doing, you are scrolling past everyone. So today we're going to have a chat about that. Today we are going to break up with the habit of not making yourself a priority. Okay, so you're going to start showing your family who you truly are, what you are truly made of, and what you bring to the table when you are just more than just a mum, a wife, and a career woman. So I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to see everybody pop up. If you're watching this, we are live streaming on Instagram. We've got the recording going, and we are watching on Facebook. So hello, everybody. I'm really glad to have you all here. I can't see the comments, but like I said, I will come back and see them all for you. So day 1 was all about comparison. And in my community group, if you're a part of that, I asked today the biggest take-homes. And it was really interesting how so many of us still don't make ourselves a priority, especially if we are introverted women. Now, introverted women, we are a special breed because we want to break free from the cycle. We want to break free. We want to feel freer. We want to be able to embrace the day and make it what we want. But we are stuck in people pleasing. We are stuck in with the fear of rejection. So what we tend to do is we tend to play small in the background, because then we won't get into trouble, or we're not going to disappoint people. And that means we're going to get the gold star. And when we get the gold star, it means that we are needed and we aren't going to be kicked out of the tribe. Now, we are in 2023. We are 40-year-old grown-ass women. And the secret is that we are not living in caveman days. So if something happens, okay, if we have a day off, if we don't feel like doing something, if we ask somebody for help, it doesn't mean that we're going to get kicked out of the tribe. It does not mean we are going to freeze, and it does not mean that we are going to starve. All it means is that we are showing our human side. And by showing our human side, we are showing our children what it is to make yourself a priority. And what I mean by that is, on the days where it feels heavy and on the days where you really don't want to, instead of trudging through, instead of pushing on, instead of grumbling about all the stuff that you have to do, instead of going through the motions, passing everything by to tick things off your list, what you should say is that I value myself enough, I love myself enough to allow myself to rest. Now, hands up in the comments how many of you have mastered the art of rest. I can guarantee there may be a couple. The art of rest, the art of allowing myself to rest without guilt, without being on autopilot, without people pleasing has taken me 39 and a half years. It has only been in the last few years have I been able to break up with the feeling that I need to be doing something all of the time. Okay, breaking up with being busy was here for a reason. Breaking up with being busy was forged. The confident woman is forged because we are sheltering behind an assumption that we are not important enough. And what that is saying, and what we are teaching our kids, is essentially that's okay if you feel tired. No, we need to keep pushing on. My energy is not important enough. My time is not valuable enough. So we'll keep going because I can't ask for help because it's my job to take care of everybody. In fact, it's not your job. And how many of you, and I want you to be really honest in the comments, ladies, right here, right now, because this was me a few months ago. How many of you can say that you are allowing people to take care of you? Are you allowing your partner to take care of you? Now, if you are single and not attached, then are you allowing your friends to help take care of you? Because let me tell you this, the minute that you begin to let, release, go, surrender, and you allow someone to take care of you, as an introverted woman who has people-pleasing master skills, this is going to be a game changer for you. And why is being taken care of so important? It's because there's a couple of factors here. One, it relieves the pressure. It lets you feel like you are being loved. It lets you feel like you are important, that you are being seen, that you, most importantly, are worthy of someone paying you attention, caring for you so much they want to help you. The second thing is it also empowers the other person. Now, if you are the chief alpha mum and you do it all for everybody and you love doing it, that is amazing. But maybe it might be a chance to let someone else take the reins. Maybe it might be time for your partner to take care of the kids, for your hubby to take care of the kids, to know what it feels like. So that when he sits down and realises the work that you do, and he has been able to experience that himself, when you ask for help, it's not going to come across as a nag. And when you start to work together and build your communication, it is an absolute game changer. Now, why is this so important? Well, here, for instance, it's 7:38 on a Tuesday night. Here in Melbourne, in the other room, just on the other side of this wall here, are my family. They're watching a movie. 12 months ago, my husband wouldn't have had any idea and didn't really support this as an idea because it wasn't real for him. He's a very talented, very, very generous person, and he's a really hands-on dad, which is an amazing partner to have for me. Now, the other side of that is that the kids would always be knocking at the door. 12 months ago, you would have seen my kids in all of my videos because they didn't have a boundary. Now he helps me reinforce that boundary, that this is work. If you are saying and you're wanting someone to love and take care of you, you are also asking someone to understand you. Understanding comes with support, and it goes both ways. If you are sitting in resentment right now that no one is supporting you, then you need to start enforcing some boundaries, and you need to start bringing people along for the journey. You need to start explaining to people why this is so important for you. Why is love so important to you? Why is being respected so important to you? Why is being the most present mum so important to you? Why do you want to do everything together? Why is that so important for you? Because when you bring people along for the journey, they begin to understand. And it helps you break down the habits of you needing to do everything, because it's what your mum did, and it's what your grandma did, and what your great-grandma and your aunties all did. Okay, we are here to break the generational lens, okay? The stories that we have taken care of. We as women live in the most opportunistic time in history. We are able to be mothers, have side hustles, work online, work remotely, work full-time, part-time, be professors, be astronauts, be whatever we want to be. 50 years ago, it wasn't the case for women like us. But yet we are busier than ever because we feel like we have to do it all, and then we are leaving nothing for us. So we are so busy making sure everybody has got dinner, clothes, washing. We feel guilty for outsourcing. Because remember yesterday when I said list your time, remember the activity. If you feel like you're scrolling, if you feel like your parts of your day you are wasting, put your dollar value there. what can you outsource to make your life easier so that you become the priority? That is what this is all about. That is what this is all about. So in today's session, you are going to hear about a story of mine, and you're going to learn the simple steps to make yourself a priority, to break the habit and break up with those excuses that you're telling yourself that you are not worthy, because at the end of the day, it all stems from self-sabotage. That's coming from a place where you don't feel you deserve to be number one. As you will have noticed, there is a pattern over these 3 days, and tomorrow is going to be an absolute beautiful session for you to pop your headphones in. I have an amazing meditation that I'm going to step you through, and I'm going to mention this a little later on too. But what can you do in your 10 minutes? Remember yesterday, 10 minutes a day for 6 days is an hour. What are you going to do for an hour a week for yourself at a bare minimum? Now, up until a year ago, I was never investing in my time. I always thought I had to be chained at the desk. I thought that I was still in my corporate mindset and that my billable hours were still needing to be caught up. And what that means is that I need to be accountable for my 10 hours a day. So from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock, I needed to be productive. Productive to me meant busy. Productive to me meant ticking off a list, and at the end of the day, closing the book, reopening the book the next day and doing it again. There was no creativity, there was no love, there was so much boredom because I was on the hamster wheel. It was just, what day is it? Yeah, what day is it? Yeah. And that is nothing that is fulfilling for us. Okay? That is nothing that we really set our souls on fire. What that leads us to do is then branch off into extreme people pleasing, extreme resentment, especially when we are teaching our kids that you can be anything that you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. But we are not living that same value, and that is why I am a confidence coach for introverted and mums everywhere. Because we somehow find that once we become mums, that's it for us. We forget who we are. At the end of the day, I'm still Claire. At the end of the day, I must still be Claire. Because my husband demands that of me. Demands is probably a bad word. Okay, my husband deserves me at my absolute best. Me at my absolute best is living a life away from the corporate Claire that was 4 years ago. Away from the materialistic Claire who was known, whom everybody knew, notoriety, had all of the things. Had travel, had the phone, the laptop, everything. I was the person to go to fix things. But on the inside, I was miserable because no one saw me for me. I was so busy giving to everybody else. So busy. I was so in my habits of getting up. I never exercised, I never ate properly, I didn't go to the gym, I didn't put my kids to bed because I didn't have a boundary set. My habit was that work comes first. And that comes from a story of being from European descent. Okay, scarcity mindset is huge. And what that meant is that you went to school, you got a good education, you got a job, you earned money, you found a partner, you got married, you bought a house, you raised a baby, and then that was it. You somehow became wife, mum, carer, household manager, all of it in one. But then there's still this egg, this part of you that really wants to be you. And you feel guilty for breaking that away because what are people going to think? Your fear of judgment, your fear of opinions of other people are stopping you from being who you really want to be. So if you continue where you are now in your people pleasing, if you continue where you are, not being present with your kids, giving love in your relationships, staying the course and not breaking the habit, what is going to change for you? What mindset can you see in the next 12 months changing for you? Where do you see yourself? What relationship status do you see yourself having? What kind of relationship do you have with your kids? What do your kids look like? Because once you start doing it, and this is why tomorrow is really important for you to join on, it is a live meditation. We're going to walk you through a path over the next 12 months. I'm going to get you to visualize what can change for you and really engage all your senses. That is why it is really important, especially if you are an introverted person and you have trouble letting people in, you have trouble letting people into your world, or perhaps articulating what you need to say. when you start to visualize, you get a feeling and you sink into the feeling of what is possible for you, you start to believe that you're actually not broken. You start to believe that anything is possible for you because you are deserving of a life. But it must start with you. None of the changes that you want, none of the lifestyle changes, the career, the relationship, the romantic relationship, the passion, the intimacy, cannot magically pop up for you if you are not willing. Okay? Unless you step into being a confident woman, for those that are joining, and when you join and get inside the confident woman, you get more than a band-aid solution. Now, what is that? At the moment, you are in survival mode. How many of you, I want to know in the comments, are currently living in autopilot? How many of you have realised that Easter is just 3 days away? How many of you have looked at the clock and gone, oh my gosh, it's already April. How did I get here? Didn't you just have Christmas? And kids on holidays? Let me know in the comments. I want you to put a 1 in the comments if you've just realised that you are living in autopilot. Okay? So what happens is the band-aid you go through a box of them. Okay? Something annoys you, pisses you off, you rip the band-aid off, it bleeds, you put another one on. Someone triggers you, there is the thought, there is a FOMO, there is a rejection, there is a mistake you make, bang, another band-aid on. But what you need to understand is that there is a point where band-aids are not going to stop the deluge, and that the band-aids are not going to stop the hurt and the pain that is so deep inside you. Okay? You're going to get to a point where I was 2 years ago, where you lost everything. You were on the brink of losing everything. Your marriage fell apart. You were dealing with a co-parenting situation. You didn't trust anybody. You were hiding from the world because you couldn't be bothered dealing with it. Your business wasn't where it was meant to be. You were facing moving out of a beautiful home that was going to be your forever home. You were faced with the challenge of going back to full-time work in a job that you did not want to do because you didn't know how you were going to survive that. If you continue to put the band-aids on, it is not going to stop the deluge, and you are going to break apart and have a breakdown. And it's going to take longer than 12 months for you to get back to where you need to be. The rebuild process of Claire over the last 2 years is a work in progress. It will be a work in progress for the rest of my life. I have had to work very, very hard on myself, and I had to make myself a priority. I had to be the most important person in my life if I wanted my jigsaw puzzle to come together in the way that I wanted it, in the way that I deserved it to be. Now fast forward 2 years, I'm still in my beautiful, beautiful home. I am back in a most amazing place with my husband that is not better than before. It is even, it's indescribable. It's in a place that we never thought we would be in. We've worked really hard for that. I've had to work really hard on myself and tell myself the excuses I was saying to myself. The alpha me, the me of the corporate world who walked into the office and everyone knew, had to take a back seat, and I had to pack her away because she wasn't what my soul was saying. The little girl inside of me who just wanted to be loved and taken care of is now here speaking. The alpha who said she didn't need anyone's help, she was better than anyone else, you need me more than I need you. And let me tell you, there were some words I spoke to myself. The habit of saying no's and saying to people and devaluing other people because I was more important has been packed away. Sometimes I have a feeling where I catch myself, and then I have to realize, is that story true? And that is where inside the confident woman, you're going to learn how to do that. You're going to learn how to catch yourself in those moments, because feelings are feelings, emotions are emotions, none are good nor bad. It is how you manage your reactions as to what sees and feeling your reality. Okay? So unless you start investing in you and remember your energy and it's your most precious resource, unless you start walking through the steps that I created in the confident woman, you won't get to be in a position that words no longer affect you of other people. Of worrying about what everyone else is doing doesn't affect me anymore. I don't care what everybody else is doing because no one has lived my life. No one has seen me on my good days. No one has seen me on my bad days. People may understand and empathise, but they have no idea what it's like to be me. They have no idea how hard I had to fight to get to this place. They had no idea what conversations I had to have to get to here. The habits I had to break mentally to get to here is the ethos of the confident woman. It is taking women from a point where they are so broken and are scraping the bottom of that barrel that they have nowhere else to go but to continue doing what they all know. They don't know any different. They weren't taught anything different. To now take women in a 12-month period to where I am now, who now is taken care of, who is loved, who has lunch bought for her, who is thought of. That is why it is so important. Who still gets kisses from her kids at school in front of people. Doesn't happen as much for my eldest, but it does the little one. Okay? Who has expanded her circle to now not include everybody. It's including the people I want to include. It's richening my life because I now say no and I don't feel bad for it. It's given me the confidence to go, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. Full stop, no questions asked. It's not happening. I am no longer here to be taken for granted. I am here to be loved solely, purposefully, intentionally by everybody that I let in. Because I know that I am my most precious resource and I am the most important person in my life. Because I know what pain is. And that is why it is so important to invest so heavily in you, because your energy is your greatest resource. Spend it well, invest it wisely. Okay, spend it well, invest it wisely. Let me check if we've got any comments coming up. So it's really, really important. If you feel that you are resenting people, if you feel that you are living out of alignment. Now, let me know in the comments. Does anyone know what I mean when I say living out of alignment? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, take a breath. Okay. What does living in alignment mean to you? If you were to live in alignment every single day, who benefits? So living in alignment can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. It can mean different things to different people based on spirituality. For me, living in alignment means that what I am telling my kids, I am living, breathing demonstration of. So I make sure my kids eat well, they drink water, they move their bodies, they're kind, they're compassionate, but they also stand up for themselves and they're not walked all over. They have boundaries. They use their voice. But I'm raising also two emotionally intelligent young men who are going to be great bloody listeners in their life. Okay? That is what is alignment. That is what my ethos, that is what my vision board, that is what my dream for my kids is. I must be in alignment. I must mirror that same ethos, that same principle, that same belief for me as well. If I'm saying to my kids, go outside, go get some air, you haven't done any exercise today yet, but I'm sitting here on my phone, completely blissfully aware, how's that going to go? Yeah, but Mum, it's not fair for me, and you're on your phone. So what I want you to do is similar to yesterday. If you want a reality check of where you're spending your time, because right now, you have probably come up with some excuses of you don't have time, it's too busy, it's too late, I can't do it. Have you seen how long you are spending on social media on your phone? So go and check your weekly report, your screen time report. It comes out, I think on Sundays, I'll get a little notification that this is what my screen time for the week has been. Now of that, I want you to put your hourly rate and I want you to work out how much money it has costed you to scroll on your phone for the week. Now, why is this important? If you're in business for yourself, we all work from our phones, so I understand that. But are you using your time effectively? If you've got a habit of sitting on your phone on the couch with the TV on, amazing. Your kids are probably on their devices, tuned out with AirPods in. Your husband's probably on his phone, or your partner's probably on his phone as well. You have so much mental stimulation happening that you are losing connection without even knowing. So if you want to be a present mum, if you want to stop living off autopilot, yet you are all sitting on the couch on your devices not communicating, what habit are you continuing to set? Is it because it's easier? Is it because I've spoken to people all day, I don't want to speak to people when I get home? What is the habit? What is the story that is stopping you from really breaking up with that habit and setting a boundary? Setting a ritual for yourself. Okay, set your screen time. Go and have a look. It's going to be a big reality check for everyone. It is for me. Okay, go and have a look. Because if you're saying to me you do not have time, that you are scrolling on your phone for 2 hours a week, you are smashing out the confident woman without even knowing. And what is your return of investment? So in your screen time report, when you're just mindlessly scrolling, what are you getting back? And if you put that hour or that 2 hours, or if it's more, 4 hours, into the confident woman, what is your return on investment? Now, if you spent 1 hour a week, remember 10 minutes over 6 days into yourself, what are you giving yourself permission to do for that 1 hour a week? Is it chatting to a friend? Is it going for a walk? Is it doing a Pilates class? Is it doing something that is not cooking, cleaning, nurturing? Yeah. It could be doing some modules in the Confident Woman that helps you piece together your romantic relationship so you actually feel taken care of and loved, seen and heard. Yeah, it gives you general awareness and gets you to take responsibility for where you are in your life so that you can change it. And change it to a point where you never have to feel you go back. That is what the return of investment, that is what you should be looking for. And if you could invest 1 hour a week into your kids, what activity would you do with your kids? At the end of this, I'm going to set an activity for you to do with your kids tomorrow. And it's going to be a fun one. This is what I love doing. The Confident Woman brings kids into the equation. Yeah, get kids to help you. Get your hubby to help you. And then if you can have 1 hour a week with your partner, what would you do to build the love, the connection, the intimacy, the passion, and the general feeling that you feel safe in your romantic relationship? What would that feel like? And what would you do? Could it be sitting outside eating your lunch together? Now, fun fact, we've recently moved out of our commercial premise of our signage biz here in Melbourne to home. So both Cole and I are working from home together. I'm inside, he's converted in our renovation. But instead of us being ships in the night, instead of me feeling frazzled because I've got kids and I'm coaching and I'm helping him and I'm finance manager hat and CFO and all these things, instead of us arguing about how busy we are, we take 10, 15 minutes, we take our lunch outside and we sit on the porch. You want to know the best bit about this? Our neighbour dropped by today and we chatted to him together. This is a Tuesday afternoon at 12:30. We were just chilling out. How amazing is that for connection? How amazing for that is. Because we are not fighting each other for conversation when the kids are at the same time. I remember how frustrating it is when you both get home, you're both knackered, and you're both filling in each other about the day. I've got forms for him to sign, he's got notices, we've got school, the kids are going bananas, and it's too much stimulation, it's too much conversation. The best bit is we both have our conversation during the day. Now I understand not everyone works together and can, and I understand that, but perhaps it's phone calls during the day. Instead of waiting until 6 o'clock when they get home and bombarding each other with information, pick up the phone. Chat a few times a day. What are you doing? Where are you? Do you want to do lunch? What does your day look like? Because when we were in our separated period, we made it a priority to do lunch once a week, to date again, to build ourselves back up again, to do coffee with each other, because we were thinking about each other. We valued and respected each other enough to commit and show each other that we are important to each other. And the only way we can make each other feel important is by spending time together. That is why inside The Confident Woman we discuss so heavily around relationships and taking radical responsibility. Because if you don't know how you want to be loved, how are you communicating that to your partner? Similarly, if you don't know how your partner wants to be loved, how do you know you're loving them the right way that's going to make them feel important? Okay, love languages. If you're across love languages, let me know in the comments. It is an absolute game changer. It's why I'm so passionate about it, because I've had to live it. Okay, we've had to live it. And it's only been in the last 12 months that we've really sat back and gone, this is incredible. Can you imagine how far we've come? Again, because we've had to rebuild all those places. Okay, and if you're sitting in this moment where everything feels really difficult, perhaps you're not in a great place in your relationship. Perhaps you're not in a great place with your job. Perhaps your kids are driving you nuts. Okay, and that's cool, they all do. But what demonstration do you want to be? What living demonstration, proof of what it is to take care of yourself? How you're showing your kids what adulting is? Are they going to see that a mum who doesn't take care of herself, runs herself into the ground is what is normal? Or are you willing to show your kids that no, you are a priority, that it's okay that washing sits there, that it's okay if the dishwasher goes on, that it's okay if the clothes go in the dryer for the next 2 days, and it's okay if I haven't swept the floor in 2 days, because your rest is important. Your time with your kids is more important than having a spotless house. That is where priorities come into it, and that is where it is really, really important. Okay, so how are you going to make yourself a priority without the guilt? Again, we're going to avoid band-aid solutions. We're going to avoid adding band-aid upon band-aid. We are going to dive deep into our problem, find the solution so we stop the deluge, yeah? We're not here to temporarily relieve symptoms. It's not a taking the Panadol and it all goes away. The pain will come back until you've felt to the source. This is what is really important. We're going to become the living demonstration of who we want our kids to be. Would you be happy for your kids to grow up like you? Would you? Would you be happy if your kids grew up to be like you are now? Because if you're not, that is the biggest red flag that you need to do something that invests in you. You need to show them how important you are. You need to show them that adults take care of their health. I'm not talking about going to the gym, I'm talking about their mental health. They work on themselves. This is really important. You're going to stop the contradiction. You're going to stop making them do things that you are not doing and vice versa. And then the activity, this is what I was talking to you about before. I want you to write down with your kids, what would you like your kids to believe about themselves? Affirmations. Do you want them to be wise? Okay. What would you write for your kids? What do you want your kids to believe about themselves? I believe I'm successful. I believe I'm worthy. I believe I can be anything I want to be. And I believe I am deserving of being happy. What do you want your kids to be? Write statements of what you want them to be. And then maybe get them to ask the same question of you. What would they want their mum to be? And I want you to read it, and I don't want you to judge it. I don't want you to get angry. I don't want you to sit there and think I'm failing. Just look at it as market research and reality check for you. This is what is needed of you. They don't want a perfect mum. They don't want the Stepford wife. They probably want you in your grey trackies with makeup smeared across your face. Okay, hair up in a bun that does not look like this, because they want the real you. That is what you want your kids to believe. Okay, so they're my 4 solutions. What are you missing out on? Okay, be the demonstration. Show your kids what it is to take care of yourself. Show your kids what it is to take pride in who you are as a woman, what you are worth, and what you are not worth settling for. Are you going to let people walk all over your kids? Are you going to let your kids believe they're not good enough? That they're not worthy enough? No, because it's not what we do as mums. We fight. So then I want you to fight for you too. This is what the confident woman is. Confident woman is a package that comes to you at the most important part of your life to help you fight for what is really important. So what is important to you? And if you lost everything tomorrow, what's worth fighting for? What are you worth fighting for? Are you going to swallow the pride? You're going to own up and admit that maybe you're not exactly who you want to be? That it's draining you pretending to be this person? That in fact you are a strong, independent person, but you really want someone to take care of you, because it's not a weakness having someone look after you. So I strive for you to be the demonstration. Show your kids what you are doing. Drop the facade. Show your kids what it is to be loved. Show them what to expect in a romantic relationship. Show them how people treat each other with love, compassion, kindness, respect. Be that demonstration so that when it happens, they're not freaked out. Okay? And do you want your kids, as I close off, because I know I've gone over a little bit, and closing, do you want your kids to grow up exactly like you right now? Would you be happy to see them go through the path that you've gone through? Is that something that you are willing to sit back and let happen on your watch? Because if not, then you need to join the Confident Woman. Because in 12 months, you could be given the golden pen that rewrites history. You are still in the formative stages of your kids in showing them what they want. Show them within the Confident Woman. Show them how to invest in you. Show them what return of that investment it is important to them. Show them how they're going to benefit from you learning about you. Show them. Bring them along. Show them physically how to love somebody. Be kind. And show them how a woman should be treated. We should be treated with the very, very best. But also show them how that you are treating yourself. How are you setting the tone for others to love you? Because that is really important. As well as setting yourself a priority. Because if you are not the priority and you're willing to let life slide by, you're going to get to the age where you sit back and you think, I don't know what I want anymore. People have moved on. My kids have grown up. So if your kids are little right now, perhaps if you've got grandkids, okay, if your kids are bigger and you've got grandkids, what are you willing to see in them that you are willing to change in your current reality? What are you willing to demonstrate to your kids and your grandkids that a strong, independent woman is? Is she going to be controlled? Is she going to deny her self-love? Is she going to lose her voice and not stand up for herself because she doesn't want to ruffle feathers? Because she doesn't want to feel imperfect? Because she doesn't want people to think differently of her? Because she doesn't want people to reject her? Let me tell you this, darling, you are already being rejected by millions of people every day. You just don't have the emotional tie to it. So stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and start worrying about what's under your roof. Start worrying about what you can change. Can't change everything in the world, but you can change the trajectory of where you are in your life. You can change the perception that your kids are seeing as what a woman is and what a mother is. And you are showing your kids what partners do in relationships. That is what is important. Because if you cannot break up with that habit, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Okay, we're fighting to change the circumstances of where we are. We're fighting to give our kids a better life. And that better life starts with showing them how to love each other, themselves, and making themselves a priority so they don't feel guilty. No one should ever feel guilty for taking care of themselves. It's the biggest lie we've all been taught. So I would love for you to go through. We have got a workbook that has some amazing questions that's going to ask you to delve deep into breaking the habit of the responsibility, breaking up with who you want to be. Okay, breaking up with not making yourself a priority, because that's what's important. Okay, that is what is important. So ladies, I trust that this has been amazing. For those that haven't got the workbook for today, can you make sure that you DM me or message in the group now? It would be awesome to see you all. And I'll make sure I get the workbook to you. To those who have registered, you will be getting an email in the morning of this recording, and also the details for tomorrow's meditation. So day 3, we are closing tomorrow. It's going to be different. I'm going to be walking you through a timeline meditation, a 12-month journey from tomorrow, the 5th of April 2023, through to the 5th of April 2024, of what you can expect, what upgrades you can experience, who can you let in, how can you be loved, and how do you make yourself the most important person in your life so that you breathe in the confidence, that you exude confidence without the arrogance. And it is perfect for those who perhaps struggle articulating what they want, and it is perfect for women who struggle with the overwhelm of maybe I need to ask for more but I don't know how. This is going to be beautiful, so make sure you come across for that. It'll be at 7:30 tomorrow evening, and I'm really buzzed to give that to you. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I trust that this has been incredible. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 3 of our final Imperfect. I'll speak to you all then. Bye.
Recording stop.